look at human hair. Some people have hair that falls almost perfectly straight, some have loose waves, some have tight curls, and some hair grows in thick coils, almost like tiny springs. At first, this seems like just a looks difference, but hair is not just for looks. It sits on one of the most important parts of the body, the head, the place where the brain lives. So why did humans end up with so many different hair types? Was it random? Was it the weather? Was it protection from the sun? Or is human hair hiding a much older story about how we evolved? Before asking why hair became straight, wavy, curly, or tightly coiled, we need to ask a stranger question. Why did humans keep so much hair on the head at all? Our bodies are unusual compared to many other primates. Humans look almost bare. We do not have thick fur covering our backs, chests, arms, and legs. Instead, we sweat a lot. Sweating helped our ancestors let out heat while walking, running, gathering, and hunting under the sun. Less body hair may have made that cooling system work better. When sweat dries off the skin, it takes heat away with it, but thick fur can trap that heat and stop sweat from drying. So losing most of the body's fur may have helped humans stay active longer in hot places. But then there is the head, the one place where losing too much protection could become dangerous. Because under the scalp is the brain, and the brain is costly. It uses a lot of energy. It creates heat. It does not do well when it gets too hot. So as our ancestors got better at moving through hot, open places, the head needed a different kind of solution. Not thick fur all over the body, but protection right where the sun could be most harmful. This may be the first clue. Scalp hair was not only about looks. It may have helped shade the head, lower the heat from the sun, and protect the skin underneath. But if head hair was useful, another mystery shows up. Why does it look so different from person to person? Why did the same human body grow straight hair in some people, waves in others, curls in others, and thick coils in others? This is where the story gets more interesting, because hair does not sit on the body like a hat. It grows from living skin. It changes how sunlight reaches the scalp. It changes how air moves around the head. It changes how heat is trapped or let out. And different hair shapes can act very differently under the sun. Recent research tested this idea using heat models of human heads with different hair types. The results showed that tightly curled hair can block heat from the sun on the scalp especially well. One reason is shape. Thick curls and coils can lift hair away from the scalp, making space between the hair and the skin. That space can act almost like a shield. The hair blocks some sunlight, but it does not lie flat like a heavy blanket, so the scalp can stay shaded while the head can still release heat. In hot, sunny places, that could matter. Not because one hair type is better in every way, but because in a specific place, one shape might solve a specific problem. For early humans living under strong sunlight, tightly curled scalp hair may have helped protect the brain from heat, while lowering the amount of sweating needed to stay cool. That is a powerful idea. The same hair that today is treated as style, identity, or fashion may have once been part of staying alive. Imagine an early human walking for hours under a harsh sun. No hat, no building, no air conditioning, just skin, sweat, and hair. In that world, the shape of hair on the head could affect how much heat reached the scalp. A tiny difference, repeated over many generations, can become very important. But this is where we have to be careful. Hair type is not a simple weather map. You cannot look at one person's hair and explain their whole ancestry, environment, or history. Evolution is never that clean. Human groups moved, mixed, split apart, and met again. Some traits spread because they were useful. Some changed because of chance. Some became common because a small group carried them into a new place. And some may have been shaped by what people found attractive, familiar, or meaningful. So, weather may be part of the story, but it is not the whole story. Straight hair, for example, is common in many East Asian and Native American groups, and some gene types linked to thicker, straighter hair are especially common in parts of East Asia, but that does not mean straight hair has one simple cause. It may involve cold weather, population history, mate choice, random genetic change, and other things that are still being studied. In some places, thick, straight hair might have helped keep warmth in or protect the head in a different way. In other cases, the trait may have spread because of population history rather than a clear survival benefit. Wavy and curly hair also appear in many different groups. There is no perfect ladder from straight to coiled. There is variation, and human variation is messy. The real answer lives at several levels at once: environment, migration, ancestry, chance, and biology. Now we can finally go beneath the skin. A hair is not just a line growing out of the head. It is made by a follicle, a tiny living structure under the skin. The shape of that follicle, the angle it grows from, and the way cells build the hair strand all help decide what the hair becomes. If the follicle and hair strand grow more evenly, the hair may come out straighter. If growth is more uneven or curved, the hair may bend, wave, curl, or coil. A rounder hair strand often tends to be straighter. A more oval or uneven strand can curl more easily. Think of it like a ribbon. If a material grows evenly, it can fall in a smooth line. But if one side grows differently from the other, the shape starts to bend. Hair works in a much more complex way, but the basic idea is the same. Tiny differences during growth can create big differences in shape. But even this is not one single switch. There is no one magic curly hair gene. Hair type is shaped by many genes. Those genes can affect follicle shape, strand thickness, growth angle, hair width, and the tiny structure of the strand. That is why two siblings can have different hair. It is why a child's hair can change after puberty. It is why hair can shift with hormones, age, or health. And it is why human hair types form a range, not four perfect boxes. The groups we use, straight, wavy, curly, and coily, are helpful for talking about hair, but biology does not always follow neat labels. A single head can even have different curl patterns in different spots, and the same person's hair can look different depending on moisture in the air, length, damage, oils, or how it is cared for. So when we ask why humans have different hair types, the answer is not just one thing. It is not simply because of the sun. It is not simply because of genes, and it is not simply because of ancestry. It is all of these forces working together across thousands of years. Hair is also deeply cultural. Long before modern salons, humans were cutting, tying, braiding, shaving, decorating, and shaping hair. Hair could show age, group identity, status, beauty, sadness, rebellion, religion, and belonging. For many people, hair is not just biology sitting on the head. It is memory, family, history, and sometimes even a form of strength. The biological story became a social story. Something that may have started as protection for the head became one of the most visible parts of who a person is. And maybe that is why hair feels so personal. It is not just dead fibers growing from the scalp. It is something people recognize themselves through, something others notice right away, something shaped by ancestors we will never meet. And the more we study it, the less ordinary it becomes. A strand of hair can look simple, but behind it are follicles, genes, sunlight, heat, movement, migration, and thousands of generations of human life. It is one of the most visible parts of us, but its beginning is hidden deep under the skin and deep in the past. So human hair is not random decoration. It is a record of heat, sunlight, migration, genetics, chance, and culture. The reason humans have different hair types is not because nature made one correct version and several mistakes. It is because the same human body traveled through different worlds, carried different histories, and solved problems in different ways. Straight hair, wavy hair, curly hair, coiled hair, they are not just styles. They are different versions of an ancient story growing from the head. If you learned something new today, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video like this one.